Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a very special live session. Today is not just another session, this is the final session of our series Top 100 Python Loop Interview Questions. First of all, a huge thank you to everyone who has been part of this journey from question number one all the way till now. Your consistency, your effort, and your support truly means a lot. So, in the last live session, we completed questions up to question number 90. Okay, as you can see, question number 19. And today we are going to start from question number 91 and complete all the remaining questions till 100. Yes, today we are going to finish this entire series. So, how's today's session will work? Okay, we'll follow the same powerful process. Step one, I'll write the problem statement. Step two, I'll give you the time to think and try it yourself. Step three, then we will solve it together step by step. But today, I want even more participations from you guys. Okay, so try to solve every questions before I code. Drop your answers in the chat. Let's make this session fully interactive. And one more special announcement as promised from day one, since we are completing all 100 Python loop interview questions today, I'll be sharing the complete Jupyter Notebook file that contains all 100 questions, all solutions, clean and structured code. And yes, it is completely free. So make sure stay till the end of the session because I'll tell you how to access the notebook. Okay. Okay. So guys, before we start, I just want you guys to just follow these channels, okay, where, okay, one more is there. Okay, guys, so in the chat, as you can see, I have given you few links, okay, so these are our channel links, okay, where we update about everything related to Python, related to our channel, okay, related to live classes, and uh, related to the file also, which I'll be sharing you after just completing the 100 question. Okay. So I'll be sharing there. I'll be giving you the link. You have to just click on the link and go to the channel. And then from the channel, you can easily download it. Okay. So it's going to be very simple. So I want you guys to just follow the channels. Okay. So go and do that. And one last request, if this series has helped you even a little bit, share this session with your friends, help someone who is struggling with Python. Let's grow this channel, learning community together. Okay, guys. Okay. So with that said, the 100 questions today, they will be completed. So let's dive into the coding part and let's move there. Okay. So let's be spot on. Now let's start with our 91 question that is going to be for daily temperature. Okay. So the problem name is daily temperature and I am going to provide you, I'll provide you a array, okay, or you can name it as a list Okay, so guys, this is the array. Now, what is your job? Okay, basically, let me explain you the problem first. See, all these numbers which you can see in our list is actually it is a temperature for each day. Okay, and your job is to just tell that how many days you must wait to get a warmer temperature. Okay, so these are the temperatures for each day, and then you have to tell how many days you must wait to get a warmer temperature. Okay, so these are temperatures 73, 74. So let's say for 73 temperature, how many more days you have to wait for a more warmer temperature, okay, more warmer day. So then you can say 74. So the wait will be for 1 day, okay. So then for same, if you get 75, so after 75, for how many days you have to wait for a warmer temperature? So you can see after 75, the temperature is decreasing 71, 69, 72. Then there is 76. So then the wait will be for 4 days. So this is what you have to do. This is your problem. Okay. So I want you guys to just create a function for this and take this temps list as a parameter, and then you can continue it. So yeah, I'll give you few seconds, guys. Okay, few seconds to just think upon the logic, few seconds to just write the codes. Okay, and after that we'll write the codes together. Okay, so that you can match it also. So you guys can start now. Okay, guys. Now I feel that I should write the code. Okay. So let me just write the code. So we have to create a function. So let's do that. So let's name our function as daily temp or temperatures. let's take the parameter as temps. So first of all, we are going to use a stack over here. Okay. Now, why we need a stack? Because it's going to store our indices. Okay. For unresolved days. Okay. And stack, all you know how a stack works. It basically works everything you have to put, you have to push or pop. You can do it from the top of the element. Okay. So yeah, then let's create. So by default, what we are saying, by default, we are just taking it, we are creating a list with the length of all the elements, and we are saying that there are no warmer days. Okay. So by default, we are creating list with that many elements only, uh, which will be given as an input. And we are saying that by default, there is no warmer day. Okay. Then after that, what we are going to do, we'll start the loop for I and for each day the temperature. So for that, we need to use enumerate, and inside enumerate, we'll put our list name. Then we'll say while stack, okay, means while in stack there are elements and the temperature T means the current value of T is greater than temps stack -1 means the last element, the top element. Okay. If it is greater than that, then do what? Then remove the previous day. Okay. And in results, store the number of days which you have waited for equals to I minus I dx. Then come out of the while loop inside the for loop. Just put in the stack dot append I. Okay, round braces will be there. My bad. Okay, come out of the loop inside the function. Just return the result list. Okay, and now it's time for calling the function. So what we have done till now, we have just traversed throughout our uh, traverse for each temperature. Then we have checked for the current temperature is warmer than the previous one or not. Okay. If it is, then remove it. Okay. Pop it, remove the previous day. Then, okay. Then store the number of days you waited. Okay. Then add the current index in our stack. Then return the result. Okay. And now it's time for calling the function. Let's call it. So what we are going to do, print daily temps with what? With daily temps. Print daily temps with daily. Let's see the output. Okay, we have made some mistake. Okay, it is result. So where is that? Oh, my bad. So now you can see after 73 means after first day you have to wait for 1 day for a warmer day. Then after that, after second day you have to again wait for 1 day. Then after third day you have to wait for 4 days. Then for 2 days, 1 day, 1 day, and then after 76 you have to wait for 0 days because now there are no temperature left. Okay, no day left. And after 73 also it is the last element, so no day left. So you'll not get any warmer days. So this is how it's going to work, and this is how this problem's solution looks like. Okay, for finding a warmer temperature. Okay, when you have a daily temperature. Okay. Okay. With that said, let's move to our next problem. which is going to be for spiral matrix generation. Okay, so let me just spiral matrix generation. Okay, so here what you will be given, what is the problem? Okay, you have to create a spiral matrix. Okay, that is the base objective which we want. But other than that, what we want is that we just simply uh, we are going to fill, we are going to take one input. Okay, and whatever the input will be, the matrix in spiral order will going to, when we'll start from that number, from suppose uh let's say our number is going to be 5, so it is going to start from 1 to the square of that n. Okay, so let's say 5, so it will start from 1 and it will go to n square, means 25. So there will be a 5 into 5. Okay, n into n, so a 5 into 5 matrix, n into n matrix in spiral order with numbers from 1 to n square. So this is your problem. This is what you want to achieve. Okay, you have to achieve a spiral matrix where the input for the matrix element which you are going to take, which will be n, and the numbers which you're going to fill is with starting from 1 to n square. Okay, so let's say if it is 5, so your matrix will be a 5 into 5 matrix, and the numbers will, the elements of that matrix will be from 1 to n square, means 25. Now I hope you guys have got the problem. Okay, and okay, I'll give you few let me just give you the input. Let's say let's have n equals to 3. Okay, after that you have to create a function. Okay, and that function is going to take just simple one parameter for of that n, of that how many, what is the n value, and according to that it will automatically generate the matrix for you, a spiral matrix for you. Okay, so this is your task, guys. Okay, let's go ahead. I'll give you, let's say I'm giving you a few minutes to just code on that. Okay, just think upon the logic, how it will work. Okay, and those who just don't know also, just try to think upon that. Okay, try to just go brutally. Okay, brute force approach, try to do that. Okay, or if you don't want to do that also, so just open the copy pen and try to do the logic. Okay, Okay, guys, now let me just help you guys, okay, in this problem. So what we're going to do in this, okay, is just we are going to follow a functional approach, a modular approach, where we'll just first of all going to create a generate matrix function, which will take a parameter n, okay. Now, after this parameter, okay, after this parameter, the first thing which we'll do is that we need to create a matrix, okay, of n into n. Okay. First of all, we'll determine a matrix with n and n, means nx n matrix, okay, which will be filled with 0. So first we'll create a matrix of 1 of n square elements. And then what we are going to try to do, then we'll try simply to put values in that. Okay. So then we'll start filling up the values. So that is the process which we are going to try it. Okay. So let me write the code. So I'll just first create a matrix where I'll say that each element, okay, 0 into n. So each element will be filled with 0, okay, and I'll multiply with it n, and then I'll start a loop that for underscore in range. Okay, so we are basically using a list comprehension to fill all the elements of the matrix, and it will be created for that many, okay, and n. So n times only, okay, n rows will be there basically. And now, then what we are going to do? So this is going to create a matrix with 3 rows and 3 columns, okay? Because by default we have taken a value of 3, and let's not consider 3, okay? Let me put it a question mark here, okay? So for now we don't know what it is going to be. So we'll call it as n only. So it will create a matrix for n elements, okay? Okay, so n rows and n columns. So basically n square. Uh, Now for filling it with values, okay, in a spiral matrix, we'll fill it with continuous values from 1 to n square. This is our problem. This is what we have to achieve it, okay. So then we have to give variables, okay. So for giving variables, we'll just simply say num equals to 1. Then we'll say left and right, okay. So we have to set all of these things. So we have to set left, we have to set right, we have to set top, we have to set bottom. So left will be initial, the most beginner values, that will be 0, and the end of that will be the right. Then again with top, the same thing will continue. For top, it will say 0, and for bottom, it will say n minus 1. Okay. So these are going to be our boundaries of the matrix. Okay. Top means the top row index, bottom means the bottom row index, left means the left column index, and right means the right column index. Okay. And what we'll do, okay, in our later on codes is basically we'll try to shrink these boundaries. Okay. So after each layer of this spiral is filled, we'll try to shrink these boundaries. Okay. So this will be our optimum work to do. Now, the next line of code which will come over here is that we'll start our main loop. Okay. Main loop in the sense the loop which is going, that will go to each element, okay, each index, and try, and then we'll try to fill with it values. So then for that purpose we'll use the while loop, okay, because we cannot give a limit here, because n can be anytime, any means anything, okay. So for that we need a proper conditional approach. So that's why we have said if left is less than equals to right, okay, and if top is less than equals to right, less than equal to bottom, okay. So always left is going to be the less than equals to right, okay. So the last approach is when left is equals to right and top is equals to bottom, then only it is the last. After that, if it will be greater, then the condition will automatically stop. Okay, the loop will automatically stop. Condition will give false, and the while loop will stop at that moment. Okay, so this is going to ensure that we still have space to fill. Okay, so until the condition is true, it will say that okay, we have still space. Once all the values are filled, means all the indices we have tracked, okay, and we have filled successfully, so automatically the condition is going to be false. So that is the thing. Okay, so each loop means one each loop is going to fill one layer of the spiral. Okay, either it's going to be the top, bottom, left, right. Okay, now let's do the step by step filling. So for those, again, we will need loops. So let's do that. So inside the while loop, we'll start with for loop now, and we'll say for I in range, okay, and range will be, let's say first we'll start from left to right, okay, for the top row. So what we'll say, from left comma right plus one, because we want to include, okay, we want to include the end part. So that's why we'll say for I in range left comma right plus one, then we'll say matrix top I equals to num. Okay, so fill the top row, move left right, then move top down since row is filled. Okay, so that is what we are trying to say. Num plus equals to 1. Coming out of the loop, we'll say now top plus equals to 1. Okay, so top will be increased by 1 now because one top row is filled. So after each iteration, one top row will be filled, one right will be filled, one bottom, one left will be filled, and it will increase it. And the moment it will be greater than the right and top will be greater than bottom, condition will stop at them, because at that time we will have been filled with all the values. Okay, we'll be done with all the values. Now it's time for the second loop. So again, kind of same, everything will be same, little bit changes, okay, with the names. Okay, so here we have to fill from right to left. So then what we'll do, right, left, and one more thing, when we are going from right to left, so we have to go in decremental manner. Okay, because already one value is filled, so now we'll go left minus one. Okay, it means fill the bottom row, move right to left, then move bottom up, so then minus one. Okay, and then we'll say matrix. Okay, wait, where I put okay, come with the colon. Colon was there. Okay, yeah. So matrix. Then we'll say bottom I equals to num. Num plus equals to 1, and bottom minus equals to 1. Okay, so fill the bottom row, move right left, then move bottom up. Okay, then for I in range, there will be top, and then there will be top bottom. So from top to bottom, matrix I right equals to num. Again, the same logic, num plus equals to 1, because each time you have to increment the num also. And this is where um, we are filling the right column, so that will move from top to bottom. Okay, so then move the right left. Okay, so that's why we'll say minus equals to 1. So the first row is for the, it's going from left to right, so it is for the top row. Then the second row is going from top bottom, it means it is for the right column. The third loop is going from right to uh, left, it is for the bottom row, and then left with the left column. So we'll say for I in range bottom to top minus 1 matrix I left equals to num, and num plus equals to 1, because we have to start with 1. Num is what? Num will be 1, then for next element it will be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and so on. It will be continued in a spiral format. Okay, and at the end we want to say plus equals to left plus equals to O. So this is going to, this last row loop is going to fill the left column. It means move bottom to top. Okay, that's why we're moving from bottom to top, and we have decremental order. Then move left right. Okay, now after this, what we have to do, we just simply need to come out of the while loop. Okay, and inside the function, we'll just simply say to just return okay, our matrix, because now our matrix will be formed. Okay, so return matrix. Now let's just call it print. What was the function name? Generate matrix. And now let me put 3 over here. Generate matrix with n. Okay, so you will see a matrix over here. Now, if you want it in a proper way, so you can use a loop. So now it will you'll find it in a matrix format. Okay, 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so if I'm put in here 3, so it means it will be a 3 into 3 matrix. Okay, so 3 rows and 3 columns you can see with n square values. Okay, if I'll change it to, let's say, 5, so then you'll get a 5 into 5 matrix with, you can see 5 rows and 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And this order, this will be followed. Okay. So this is how a spiral matrix look like. And this is the code to generate. Okay, let me a little bit zoom out so that in one space it could come, but I don't think it is possible. So you guys can just pause the video, and just simply uh, try to take a screenshot or write the code, okay, if you guys want. Otherwise, I'm going to provide the file, so you can just directly use that file also. So no need to just write the code, okay? Okay. With that said, guys, we'll move to the next problem. That will be for uh, verifying. So the next problem is for, it is for valid parenthesis checking, okay? Valid parenthesis, okay? I guess this is problem number. Last one was 90, okay, 91. Spiral matrix was 92, and this is going to be 93. So you have to just check if brackets are valid and properly closed. Okay. It means what? You have to check for a valid parenthesis. What is a parenthesis? Round braces, square braces, curly braces. These are the parentheses. Okay. So you have to check that if you have opened the braces in a string, so they are getting closed properly or not. Okay. So for that purpose, to check, to verify that purpose, you have to check, you have to create a function which will validate the parentheses. Okay. So I hope you understand my point. So let's say for input purpose, I'll give you a string. Okay, so this is going to be the parenthesis which you will use it as the input. Okay, so you create a function, take a parameter of a string, and the output will be a Boolean value. If it will be true, if the string will be true, if it is properly closed, if it is using a valid parenthesis, it will return true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. Okay, so that is what you have to do it. Now, I hope you guys will, you have started, okay, writing the codes, think upon the logic, okay. I'll give you a few seconds, just follow, okay, just do it. Okay. So now, okay, guys. So now, let me start writing the code. So this is going to be our input. So for that, the code will be, first of all, we'll be starting with creating a function, and we'll name the function as valid parenthesis. Okay, which will take one input. Let's say it will take a string as an input. So first of all, we'll create a stack. Okay, and after creating the stack, we will do mapping. Okay, so how we are going to do mapping? We'll create a dictionary, and here we'll say, okay, if there is a closing, okay, so what was the last opening? If there was a closing braces, so what was the last opening of that? Okay, so in this way, we are going to say, so let's say if it is a closing square braces, so what was the last opening braces? Okay, if it is a curly braces, okay, so if it is a curly braces, so what was the last opening curly braces? Okay, so this is the mapping which we have done. Now after the mapping, okay, and mapping is done in closing opening mapping. First we are finding for the closing one. When we'll get the closing, we'll find out the last opening. Okay, so we'll check if ch in mapping, okay, means if the closing brackets, if they are like that, so do what? Okay, get the last opening. So we will want the top. So stack dot pop. Okay, and if the stack, the condition will be if a stack, okay, if element is there, so it means pop it and put it in top. Otherwise, in the else case, give it a hash. Okay, simple. Then what we'll say? Then we'll say we'll give one more condition that mapping if mapping ch, okay, if it is unmatched, if it's mismatched, so then clearly return false. If it is mismatched, then clearly uh it will automatically return false. Okay, otherwise, in the else statement, what we'll do, in the else we'll say that append to stack. Okay, and coming out of the condition, we'll say return not a stack. So it will be valid if stack is empty. Okay, so that's why we have said return not a stack. It means that if it is empty, then it's fine. We want it to be empty because when it will find it, it will pop it up. But when we will not match it, so then it will directly return false and it will append it over there. Okay, so I guess the else will be, this else will be not here, this else will be here for this if. Okay, for this if, the else will be there. Okay, and that's it. Okay, I forgot one thing, I guess. For I've not started the loop. Okay, so anyway, it's going to give us the error. So I need to now manage the indentation. Otherwise, it will give us an error. Yeah, now I feel it will work. So we just need to call the function. So let's call it. So it says true. Okay, it says true. Now let me just do what? Let me just remove one of them. So then it will clearly say false. Okay, so yeah, this is how it works. You can try with your own strings also. Just try using the parentheses and then it will correctly say that it is valid or not by returning a boolean value. True means that it is valid. False means it's not valid. Okay, now with that said, we'll move to the next problem. So this was your valid parenthesis problem. I will move to the next problem, that is problem number 94. That is going to be for group anagrams. Okay, group anagram. So your problem will be basically you have to group words. Okay, so you have to group words that have same characters. Okay, So anagrams is what, first of all, guys? Okay, we have already seen these types of problem. Anagram is basically uh, you are going to have a same frequency word, okay, but the order of that alphabets means you will have a word with same, means you will have multiple words with the same frequency of that alphabets, but the order of that alphabets will be different in order to cause a different word. Okay, so that is the thing with the anagram. So that is anagram words. Okay, so you have to group anagrams based on the same alphabets, regardless of the order. With the same alphabets, you have to just decide the groups. Okay, so I'll just give you first of all the list of the words. So let's say there is eat, there is tea, there is pan, ate, nat, and that. Okay, so these are few words. Now you have to group them according to their uh, anagrams matched words. Okay, so this is going to be your job. So simple, you have to create a function. Okay, and yeah, do that. I'll give you a few seconds. Just try upon that. Give it a try. Okay, guys, now let me just help you out in this. Okay, so those who have started coding, okay, that's fine. You can match with my answer. Okay, those who have not, okay, and just thinking for them, let me start writing the codes. So there is a simple logic, guys. Okay, you don't need to go that much. There are built-in functions for that. Okay, so we are going to use that. So from collection, we are going to use default ticked. Okay, let me be correct with the spellings, otherwise it is going to cause me. So from collections, we are going to use default dict, and let me create the function now. So simple group anagrams, that's going to be my function name. Okay, it will take the same list name as the parameter. Now here, what we are going to do, we'll create a hash map object of default dict. Okay, By default, it takes list. Okay. Here list for, okay, it creates a list for new keys. By default, it takes it. So that's why we have passed it over here list. So default list. Then what we'll do, we'll just simply, here will you, here we are trying to create a dictionary, you can say, where the key will be the representation of the word and the value will be the list of words. Then in the next step, we are going to start the loop. So we'll say, let's not take I, let's take for word in strs. Okay. So we are going to process each word one by one. And then inside the loop, what we are going to do, we will create tuple, sort it alphabetically. So that's why we'll use the sorted function, sorted word. Okay. Now this is the core logic here, which you have to think upon that. Why sorted word here? Okay, why not simply words? Because sorts going to just, it's going to sort the character alphabetically. So it will be easy for us for matching. Okay. It means that if the same sorted result we are getting, it means it is the same key. So just append the word. Okay. So that is the logic. And now many one of you will have problem. Why not list? Why only tuple? Or why not some other thing? See, why tuple is because tuple can be stored as a dictionary key. List cannot be. So this is a core inside which you will get only in Python. That tuples can be, because tuples are immutable in nature. Anything, and keys are of dictionaries, keys are also immutable. So you can have a tuple as a dictionary key. So that is the main logic behind it. So in the next line of code, that's we are going to put it over here. That hash map, okay, hash map is key dot append that word, okay. And then coming out of the loop, we just want to return, okay, return the list of the groups, okay. So here we would just want to just simply, we only need the grouped words, not the keys. So that's why list hash map dot values, because we don't want anything, we just want the values, okay. Now it's time to call the function. So let's call the function. So here you can see it has grouped the words based on, okay, same anagrams, means the same frequency of the same length and same frequency of the alphabet. So eat, T and 8, they are of one group. One group has been formed, and tan and nat is the second group, and bad is the only single element left. So that is the third group. The total three groups has been formed here. Okay. And you can see how easy and quick it was. Just you have to use few built-in methods with the loops and bang on, right on. Okay. So this is how it works. Okay. With that said, let's move to the next problem, which is going to be for, let me just write it. So last one was 94. It's going to be 95. The problem is to find out the top k frequency elements. Okay. Here we have to find the top k most frequent elements. Okay. Top k most frequent elements. So let me give you the values, the inputs which you guys will be taking. Nums equals to 1, 1. And k is going to be 2. Okay. So all the elements which will be more than k or at least k. Okay. So the number of occurrence of all the elements out of this list. Okay. If it will be 2 or more than 2, the frequency of that particular element, if it will be equals to 2 or more than 2, then it will be the top k frequency element, means most common frequent element which is present in our list. Okay, so we have to say that. So here it will be clearly from the input we can say 1 and 2 are the elements. Okay, so the output will be a list with 1 2. Okay, so the output is going to be a list with 1 and 2 here. Okay, now create a function, and it's going to be very simple, so just try to do it with your own only, and just let me know in the chat if you know this particular problem, or you know the solution. Okay, so with that said, now let me just write the code. So first of all, we'll create a function, we'll give it some name. Let's say majority elements. We'll pass our parameters. Okay, so let me name it top k, nums and k. And then what we'll try to do is before starting, we'll try to just from collections import counter. We'll try to import counter. Okay, then we'll create the function. Counter is one of the uh, classes present in the collection module. Okay, and which is going to be very useful here, because what we are going to do is just going to simply say count equals to counter. We'll create an object of counters will so that it should count And then we'll just simply return a list comprehension where we are going to use the loop a num for num dash in count dot most common element. Okay. And then we'll provide here. Okay. Now with that said, let's call it. Okay. Okay. So let me just give, okay, uh, for num in, yeah. So one is three times, two is two times. Okay. So the numbers which we means the k which we are given, which is limited to two, it means the which is equals to two or more than two. So it will count those elements. So one is three times, two is two times. So because of that, they are getting over here. Okay. So yeah, let's move to the next problem. And this is how you can count top k frequency elements. Okay. So I hope you have understood. With this, let's move to the next problem. That's going to be something related to the same question, okay, but here it will be what we're going to do it in this is basically, first of all, let me just write the problem name. 96, which is going to be a majority element, okay, to find the majority element. And how you're going to determine the majority element here, okay? So you have to find the elements who have appeared more than n by 3 times, okay? So you have to find the elements. I can say you have to find the elements which appeared more than n by 3 times. Okay. So you have to determine this and then you have to find the most common elements. So let's say if you have a nums like this 3, 2, 3. Okay. So n equals to 3 divided with 2, it will be close to 1. So if a number which is more than one time, so that number will be the majority element for a element of 3. Okay. So yeah, that is the thing. This is what you have to do it. Simple as that. And then you can just return a list. Okay. So I'll give you a few seconds. Just try to do it. Okay. Now, uh, those who have started writing the codes, well, then that's fine. Those who have not, for them, let me start, okay, and uh, then you can match it with my answer, okay. If it will be same, then you guys are correct, okay. So we have to find the majority element, okay. So what we can do is just simply let's give a count first, okay. So we'll initialize first of all. We'll try to create a function majority element, okay, which is going to take nums as a parameter. Then we'll create certain counts. Count 1 equals to count 2 equals to 0. Okay. Then this types of problem we have already solved one time in this series only. It's not totally similar, but this approach, let me just remind you guys. Okay. So count 1 equals to count 2. So we just want just simply two counters to track the frequency of the candidates. Okay. And that's why we initially make it 0 because, okay, initially we have nothing. So that's why 0 means no candidates here. Then we have candidate 1 and candidate 2. So we'll track at most two majority elements. Okay. So at most we can track only two majority elements. Okay. And starting with the starting, we have no candidates. Okay. We have no candidates till now. So it is none. Okay. Just, okay. With that, what we are going to do now, we'll start traversing. Okay. For I in, or let's say if it is num, so let's take num. So for num in nums. Okay. And then we'll start checking over each condition that if num, if the current num is is equals to candidate 1, then do what? Count plus equals to 1. Then elif if num, oh, my bad, num is equals to candidate 2, then count 2 plus equals to 1. Then one more condition, elif if count 1 is equals to 0. So then do what? Okay. So then candidate 1 will be what? Then candidate 1 will be initialized with the current num. And in the count 1, make plus 1 or directly initialize with 1. Okay, not plus 1. Each time we cannot afford to do it. So we'll make it equals to 1. So that in the next condition, if it is equals to candidate 1, so count 1 means count 1 automatically will get increased by 1. Okay. Then what we'll do, if count 2 equals to 0, if count 2 equals to 0, then in candidate 2, initialize num and make count 2 equals to 1. Now in the else statement, what we are going to give, in the else we'll say, if count 1 equals to, or let's say minus equals to, if nothing is there, then decrement both. If the current number does not matches with count 1 and does not matches with count 2, so decrement it by 1. Okay. And yeah, then we can give a check. So over the total number of elements. Okay. So let's do that. So let's come up with the loop and we'll say So we are not counting the total elements. So we have to do that too. So then we will do n equals to length of nums because the condition is to n by 3. Okay. So how we'll determine that? So if nums dot count candidate 1 is greater than integer division with 3. Okay. So then only when candidate 1, then again the same condition will give it with candidate 2, but little bit changes. If candidate 2 is not equals to candidate 1, because they cannot be same, and then the same condition. Okay, that nums dot count candidate 2, if it is greater than n into the division 3, so then just do simply result dot append candidate 2. Okay, and now we are going to return the result. Let's just print the function now. Majority elements. So ideally, okay, cannot access local variable count where it is not associated with the value. Okay, my bad. It will be count one. Yeah, so three. So you got only three here, okay? Because three is the only element, okay, in this which is greater than n by three, which is basically ideally should be greater than one. So yeah, that is the element which is greater than one. So that's why we are getting only three here. Okay. So yeah. Now, with that said, we'll move to our next problem. That will be problem number 97. That will be a problem related to a gas station. Okay. And actually, what you have to do is, first of all, I have to give you two arrays first. Okay. So let me just give you a two array like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That will be a gas array. And I'll give you one cost array. So let's make it like this 3, 4, 5, 1, and 2. Okay. Now you have two arrays with you, one gas array, one cost array. Okay. So let's imagine gas I. Okay. So that is the each element in this array is basically representing to a fuel available at station I. Okay. Fuel available at station I. And what is cost I? So cost I is basically fuel required to go from station I to station I plus one. Okay. So what we are going to do it over in this problem is that uh, we have to start our journey. Okay, with an empty tag. Let's say, suppose we are starting our journey with an empty tag and want to complete a circular journey. Okay, so what should be the starting gas station index? Okay, ideally that if you will start from there, so you can complete the full circle. Okay, so if it is possible, see, there will be two things. If it will be possible, so then return the starting index. If not, then return minus one. Okay, if it is not possible also, so then return minus one. But if it is possible, then return the starting index. Okay, so we want the starting index. So out of all these indexes, from where we will start, out of these all indexes, from where we will start in order that we can easily complete a full circle. Okay, so I hope you have understood the problem. Okay, with that said, now I'll those who have started coding, that's completely fine. Those who have not, for them, I'll now start. Now start writing the code. You can match with my answer. Michael says, "Hello, sir. Namaskar. Namaskar, sir. Namaskar, Michael. Karthik Sundaram. Yes. Yeah. Hello, brother. I hope you're liking the live session. Okay. Now, with that said, guys, let me just first of all, we'll start with the function. So let's just start with the simple function, gas station. Okay. So let's name our function as gas station itself. Okay. And we'll give both gas and let's say the cost. Now, what we'll try to do, we have both gas and cost. Okay. So the first approach which we'll do is that we'll try to create three, you can say it variables, okay, or counters. So let's say we have total, then we will have one more counter current, and then we'll create one more variable for storing our start. Okay. So we'll initialize initially everything as zero. So total is basically the overall fuel balance for the entire journey. Current will be the current fuel while traversing, and start will be the candidate starting index. Okay. So we'll store that also because at the end we have to return the starting index only. So for that, what we are going to do? Okay. So then we'll traverse through the gas station. So let me just now continue with our loop. Let's say for I in range, length of the gas station. Okay. So it will go till that. Then we'll give a condition that total plus equals to gas of I minus cost of I. Okay. What does that means? It means that we are checking the overall feasibility here. Okay. And then we'll check the current balance also, means the current fuel, what is the status of that. So gas of I minus cost of I. So this is going to give you uh, the total current fuel also. Okay. Now we'll give a condition over here. Okay, that is going to be very simple. If current is less than zero, it means what? It means that that is not the exact index we want to try it for. So then what? Then I plus one, move it to the next, okay? And again, make the current as zero, okay? If the current will be zero at some point and come out of the loop here, just simply return, start, and then say if total is greater than equals to zero. Means at the end, if total is greater than equals to zero, so return the start index, otherwise return the minus one. Okay. Now let's call the function with the two values in it, the two arrays. So three. So in these two arrays, 3 is the ideal index from where if you'll start it with the 3 index and which from gas or cost of gas, obviously, because we are iterating over gas, okay? So 3 is the index from where if you'll start it, so it can complete a full cycle, okay? Let's say 0, 1, 2, 3 means the value 4. Okay, so if you'll start from the fourth gas station where 4, okay, gas is left, 4 unit of gas is left. If you'll start it from there, so we can complete the full cycle. Okay. Okay. Mother Lakshmi says, hi, sir. Hello. Yes. Also, please start Skykit Learn and PyTorch. Yeah, we can do that after completing this. Okay. That's a very nice of you that you suggested some topic. Okay. I like that kind of audience who just demands, okay, that what they want. So it gets me clear also that what you guys want. So let's just start with scikit-learn and pytorch. Yeah, we can do that. So i can uh, I can start with that too. Okay, so yeah, I'll keep it in mind. Okay, thank you for the response. So this is the output, as you can see, for the gas station. Okay, uh yeah, now let's move with this. Let's move to the next problem, that is for the, okay, I guess that will be the third last problem for this particular playlist of top 100 interview questions. Now, guys, one more thing. Uh, Again, I you can see the chat. In the chat, I have pinned one comment. Okay, so that is our channel link. Okay, so you guys can go and follow that channel by clicking on that link. So what will happen now? Uh, the file I'm going to upload it. Okay, at some place, and it is totally free, so don't worry, you have to just go. So the link for that file, I'll give it on that channel. Okay, so you have to just go and follow that channel, and just after the live session will over, in just few minutes I am going to share you that file, so you can just go and easily download it, and later on you can use it or understand it. Okay, full logic wise. Okay, so you, for that, you need to follow the channels, so you have to go there and then you have to follow the channel. Okay, so yeah. And the 98 problem is that we have to find the longest palindrome substring. Okay. So basically, it's a very simple problem. What do you have to do? Find the longest palindrome string. Okay. If it is, okay, out of a string, you have to find the longest palindrome substring. Simple as that. So for that, you have to write the code. And if you want, I can give you a string also. So let's say BA, BAD. Okay. So now, out of this word, you have to find the longest palindrome string. Okay. If there is, so return with that. Now, I'll give you a few seconds. Just try upon the logic. Try to do it with your own. And let's see. Okay, Varlakshmi says, yes, nice, thank you. So now, guys, with that said, let me just, those who have started writing the code, it's code. Those who are not, for them now I'll write it. You guys can just match it, okay, with the answer that it is correct or not. Okay. So now let me just write the code. So first of all, we need to create a function. So we'll say longest palindrome. Let's put our string as a parameter. We'll create first of all empty string. Let's say called as a result. Okay, res. Then we'll start the loop for I in range length of s because we want to go it for all the characters. Then we'll say for j in range starting from I because from the letter where it started and it will go till the length of the s. Okay. Then we'll extract the substring. Okay. So we want the substring. So what we'll do, so we want to extract the substring from index I to j. So we'll make it, and j should be included. So we'll make j plus 1. Then we'll give a condition that if the substring, okay, if the subs str equals to sub str, means if it is a palindrome, so we have to check, we have to return a palindrome, no? So if it is a palindrome, and then there should be one more condition that if it is, we want the longest palindrome, okay? So you have to give a condition to check that if it is the longest palindrome or not. So then we'll say that length of sub str should be greater than the recent length of the result, okay? And then we'll store in the result, we'll store our sub str, okay? So by default our result is an empty string. So the if you'll find the first palindrome, so that will be the first one, okay? Then after that it will automatically find the longest one. Then we'll return the result. It's time to call the, okay, so this is the longest palindrome in this following word. So yeah, now with that said, we'll move to our next second last problem of this particular playlist, top 100 interview questions, okay, based on Python. And I'm again repeating, guys, please, I have pinned the link on the chat. Please go and follow the WhatsApp channel link, okay? Because on the channel I'm going to, and there is one top two comments are there. One is the WhatsApp channel link, one is the Telegram channel link. I will upload the Jupyter file link over there. You can just go to the channel, you can click on the link, and the file will be with you, okay? So just simple process. So just go and follow the channels. Now, um, the next problem is maximum gap. You have to find the maximum gap, okay? Now, what is this? What you have to do in this? So basically, you have to find the maximum difference between the adjacent sorted elements, okay? The adjacent sorted elements. So if let me just explain your problem more deeply. Let's say if you have 3, 6, 9, 1, okay? So what you have to do in this, first you need to sort it, okay? And then you have to find the maximum difference between the adjacent. After sorting the array, then you have to find out the maximum gap between the adjacent elements after sorting. So first you need to sort it, okay? Then you need to find the maximum gap between two elements, two adjacent elements. Adjacent elements mean two side by side elements, okay? Two elements which are just side to each other, okay? So it's that simple. Okay, guys, now let me write the code for you guys. So those who have already started, that's good. Those who have not, for them, I'm writing the code so you can just match it. Okay. Now we have already a array with us. Okay. So first of all, we'll just create a maximum gap function. We'll take the nums as a parameter. Then what we'll do, first of all, we need to sort. So we'll sort it. Okay. Because it demands sorted adjacent elements. Okay. Then we'll create a variable for storing the maximum gap. We'll start a loop which will start from 1 and go till the length of nums. Okay. Then we'll fill the gaps. Okay. And we have to fill it with the maximum gap. Okay. So we'll say if the current gap is maximum, so then fill it with that. Otherwise, adjacent, the difference of the adjacent sides. Okay. And if you have sorted it, so it will automatically be sorted in ascending order. Okay. So what we'll do, the current minus the last one, if we'll do like that. So if num of I, or let's say if nums of I minus nums of I minus 1, if it is like that. Okay. So that's why we are starting the range not from 0, from 1. Okay. I minus 1. So let's do what? Let's return the gap. It's time for calling the function. Let's call the function. So maximum gap is of 3 here on the sorted adjacent sides. Okay. So we have got here. Now, with that said, we are come up with to our last problem of this series, top 100 interview Python questions using loops. So let me write the problem, that is to stock by sell, okay, with maximum profit. Okay. So this is one of the standard logics which we have to apply in most of our problems when we create something, a stock exchange type of thing. Okay. So our what the problem says here, that you have given, okay, let me just give you the array. First of all, let's say 7 1 5 3 6 4. Okay, so this is going to be one random array, and what you guys have to do, this array is for prices. So prices of I is actually the price of our stock on day 1, or let's say day I. Okay, so our goal will be to just buy once and sell once to get the maximum profit. And rule is, one more important thing is there, that you have to first buy before sell. Okay, and only one transaction is allowed. And we need to find the maximum selling price so that we can make the maximum profit. So you have to write the code for that. Okay, and the array is to you. This array is the prices of I is for the price of each, means of the stock for day I. Okay, so write the code now. And one more thing, do follow the WhatsApp channel link. There I'm going to provide this all the 100 problems, all the 100 interview questions. Okay, that is really going to help you creating or understanding the loops in Python more quickly. Okay, and if you want to secure jobs, then this playlist is going to help you definitely. Okay. With that said, now let me just help you out. So you have to just create a function max profit with a parameter of prices array in that. Okay. Then we'll do what? We will first set the minimum price and the maximum profit. Okay. Because to make a maximum profit, you need to buy the stock at the minimum price. Okay. So what we'll do, and we'll assign the minimum, the lowest price at infinity. So we'll initialize infinity, or I guess it will be minus infinity. That should be the minimum price here. Okay. Or let's take a very large value here. I guess minus will not be there. Okay. So we'll start with a very large value. So any real price will be smaller. Okay. So the purpose will be that we'll track the lowest price so far. So that will be the best buying point. Then what we'll do, we'll initialize the max profit to 0. Okay. Then we'll say for price in prices, what will go day by day. Okay. So we'll traverse over the prices. We'll say if price is less than minimum price. If it's like that, so minimum price equals to price. Okay. What does it mean? That if the current price is lower, so update, this means better day to buy. Okay. So update the minimum price. Then do what? Then calculate the profit. So then we'll calculate the profit and we'll say profit equals to price minus minimum price. So by this, we can calculate the maximum profit. So maximum profit will be max of max profit with the current profit. If the earlier max profit is greater, fine. If the current profit is more profit, so initialize with the maximum of out of these two. Then return the max profit. As simple as that. Call the function. So we'll print. So 5. Okay. So this is the amount. Okay. Where we, if we'll buy it, okay, so if you'll buy at 5, so there are better chances of making a good profit. Okay. So it means that, see, 7 is the highest value, but before, because we have not buyed it yet, so we cannot sell it at 7. So it means ignore this. Then 1 is there. Then, so 1 will be the minimum price. And then to sell it, 6 will be the minimum, a maximum price. So if the maximum profit will be of 5, how? So when we'll buy at 1, the minimum price, and sell it at 6, so difference will be 5. So that's why we are making a maximum profit at 5. Okay. That's why the output is 5 here. Means 6 minus 1 equals to 5. So this is how we're getting our output. So by this, guys, we have completed all the 100 important interview questions on Python loops. Okay. So that is it. With this, we have officially completed all 100 Python loop interview questions from question number 1 to question 100. Okay. You showed up, you stayed consistent, you kept learning. That's something to be really proud of. Remember, this journey was never just about solving questions. It was about building logic, improving problem solving skills, becoming confident in Python. So don't just stop here. Go back, revise the questions, and most importantly, practice them again with your own. Okay. And as promised, since we have completed the full series, I'll be sharing the complete Jupyter Notebook file containing all 100 questions, all solutions, clean and structured code, and yes, completely free. So make sure you check the description where I've given you the channel, WhatsApp channel, Telegram channel link. You just go and follow it. In just few seconds, I'll share you the file. So you just can go and just download it from there. Okay. One last request. If this series helped you even a little, share it with your friends. Help someone who is struggling with Python. Okay. And that is not the end. We are going to come back with more powerful and exciting series covering new topics, new problems, and even more real interview preparation. So make sure you stay tuned, stay connected, and don't miss what's coming next. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Keep learning Python. That's the time. We'll end the live now.